Well, hello there, Diet Rebel Scum and Diet Rebel Scum Curious. It's been a few days since I've checked in. I thought I'd come and talk to you this morning. This is before work. It's kind of early here where I'm at. It's 8:09 a.m. and I'm at my place of employment. And so I got up this morning, ran 4.3 miles, and I keep looking for these breakthrough runs. I keep talking about it. It's like I really want to have these somewhere. I want to feel it on a run where all this past year of training is paying off, like I'm actually making some kind of physical fitness improvement to kind of get back like I was a couple years ago when I was running more regularly. Not a couple more years ago. It's quite a few years ago, several years ago now. And this morning might have been another one. I've had some minor ones. They're sort of debatable, because as I go and look through my running history, I'm like, well, I had a pretty good run a month ago, But anyway, so this morning, what it did was, it was cool. It was in the mid-60s, I believe. Does Garmin have the... I titled it In the Rain because it was raining. So we're getting at the end of summer. It's starting to get into... It's going to be fall soon. And I've been running in the heat of the day in 90-something degrees in full sun for all summer long. I've gotten very, very tan. People have been commenting on how dark I am this year. This is the darkest I've ever been, and I'm very white. I'm just a very, very Caucasian person. But very, very Caucasian people can get very, very dark when they're not avoiding the sun like we're told to do by the Western medicine establishment. So, no sunblock. I mean, I think I applied sunblock one time this year, and I forgot what the occasion was, but I was going to be out very, very extended amount of time. Was I out on my acre? No. Maybe I was out at the lake. Anyway, but I digress. Back to running here. So, this morning, it was cool. It was raining. And got out of the vehicle, met with a couple of running partners, still dark outside, and immediately getting wet because it was actually a rain, not a huge downpour. It was like a very heavy sprinkle so that your shirt and everything is wet in just a few minutes. It was that level of rain. And 4 miles, this is a very hilly neighborhood just north of our downtown here in Oklahoma City. And I averaged 8:37 per mile. Now, my perceived effort was not quite that. I knew I was going under 9 minutes a mile. I was pretty sure of that. I do not check my watch because that live update on a GPS watch isn't always very reliable. I might be looking at my mileage and I want to know how far I've gone, but if I notice my pace, it's by accident and it plays mind games with me. So I try to not pay attention to the live pace. What I do pay attention to is at every mile it beeps and it gives me a lap. It's the default lap is 1 mile. I do pay attention to that. So when I see that pace, I take that to heart. But anyway, this is a hilly neighborhood, lots of rolling hills, some of them pretty steep. And my average heart rate this morning, that's really what I'm really looking at, is I look at my pace and I like to see my average heart rate, 137. And my max heart rate was 149. Now, there was a few times now, I'm varying my speed a lot in these runs. So the people I'm running with run about a minute slower per mile than I do typically. Now, this morning, they were not that far slower than me. They're only like 30 seconds per mile slower. But what I do is I am behind them and I weave, as they go through an intersection, I may turn and do like a little I go down about, I don't know, 20 or 30 steps, and then I turn around and come back, and then turn back and get behind them again. But that opened up some distance, and I never quit, and I never stopped moving. I'm not slowing down to open up distance. I'm just running a little extra out. I call it outcroppings or whatever. And then I try to catch up with them. So I speed up. So it's like I'm doing this variable fartlek, what they call like a fartlek run, without any like specific distances. I'm doing the speed ups. It's just when I start getting up close to them again, I do the same thing. They go through an intersection, I duck off and run down the street a little bit and come around, open up distance again. And that's how I did this one. And I ended up averaging pretty decent. I averaged 8:37 per mile, which I was kind of surprised by, because I didn't feel like I was doing that, because a lot of these other runs, when I think I'm doing 8:30 or 8:15 per mile average, and it ends up being 9:05 or something like that. But the effort was, I'm always so disappointed. But this morning I was pleasantly surprised, and it could be because of the cool temperature. I did get to bed earlier than normal, so I had probably a full 7 hours of sleep instead of a lot of times a 6 or really terrible 5.5 that I do sometimes, because staying up a little too late piddling around. But anyway, here's another thing. So this was a nice morning here. For lunch today. Now, I did this once before. Normally, what I put in my slow cooker crock pot here in the morning, and then it's ready for me by lunchtime, is a pound of ground beef. So, about, a couple weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, I brought 2 of these to work because I was feeling extra hungry that morning or something. So when I left to come to work, I grabbed 2 of these out of the refrigerator. And I cooked both of them in my crock pot. And then I have some grass-fed pasture-raised cow butter that I keep up here that I bring from home. So I always have plenty of butter as like a side dish that I eat with to get the fat content up. Because this stuff is 85% lean, 15% fat. And I wished it was 70-30. That would be cool. But anyway, so I add butter to it to add some fat. So today, and okay, when I did that, I thought I'm going to have trouble eating 2 pounds at one time that day, but I didn't. I mean, I sat here at my desk while I was working and eating out of the crock pot, and it took a while, but I ended up eating the whole 2 pounds, and I didn't feel stuffed or anything, and I didn't have to eat dinner that night. So it was actually the what a lot of people do, the 1 meal a day. Is that what they call the lion diet? I've heard the snake. There was like a snake YouTube influencer. I forgot what his name was, but I wasn't a watcher of his content. Not because I thought anything wrong. It was just you can only watch so many people, But I'm going to do it again. 2 pounds. I'm going to try to see if this and however much butter I want to eat with it. It's usually around 2 tablespoons, maybe 3. So that's if you're a calorie counter, 3 tablespoons is 300 calories of butter. But who's counting calories? I don't bother with that anymore. I just use it as a comparison of just as an amount. I might as well weigh it. I mean, to me, it's the same as just weighing it. How many grams of butter I'm eating, I don't care. I don't care about calories because we do not light food on fire in our bodies. We burn it per se. Heat is that's another thing, man. I tell you what, the whole calories in, calories out thing, I could go on a rant about that because I don't believe in that anymore. Back in my vegetarian days, I did. I was one of those people. You just need to eat less and move more. You're not burning enough calories. You're eating too many calories. And I think that's all BS. I was wrong. I was listening to people preaching wrong stuff. I don't mind admitting when I was wrong. That's why I am a Diet Rebel Scum today. Diet Rebel. Oh, did I messed up my intro. Diet Rebel Scum. Diet Rebel Scum being those of us who have taken the food pyramid and said to hell with that. We do not eat high carb, low fat. We eat high fat, low carb. That's what we do. Hell yeah. Okay, this has been an experiment. I'm doing this on my laptop. Laptop, new microphone, little USB microphone. I think it sounds pretty good for the price. I'm cheap. It was very inexpensive, 29 US dollars. And I'm doing my screen sharing all with one little laptop screen. I'm hoping this went okay. So, all right, I'm going to sign off for now. That was it. I don't know. How long have I been rambling? Too long, probably. All right, this has been another Diet Rebel Scum check-in. We will check you later in the next one. All right.